So I really do think that 2025 will be the year of VR sim racing, partly due to, and if the Pimax Crystal Super can deliver on this promise of eventually 120 Hz at 4K resolution in each eye, 4K resolution in each eye. So theoretically, you're getting at least the same experience as you would through a 4K monitor, albeit through lenses, and therefore you may as well get all the benefit by going in VR of depth perception and 3D and everything. But it's been very controversial. I made a video on this a week or so ago, and there were lots of comments about, can we trust Pimax? What about refunds? I don't understand the subscription. And I completely get all of them, because I was reading it. I was like, I don't really understand how the subscription is going to work. And I don't understand how the swappable lenses are going to work. So basically, Pimax came out with a load of answers, which I'm just going to let you know about honestly. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on them, what I think is cleared up and what I think I don't. I'm going to let you know what I don't understand. These are some headsets I've got here already. This is the Meta Quest 3, my Meta Quest 3, which I really enjoy. I will be connecting that to the PC. At the moment, I'm using it standalone on the Roto VR Explorer you may have seen. This is the Pimax Crystal Lite, and that was a sponsored headset from Pimax. That's all sponsored, but I want to give you my honest thoughts here on the responses Pimax have made on subscriptions and everything. So remember, if they can deliver on this, I genuinely think VR sim racing goes to a, may become like the way to do sim racing. We can see big changes because of that. So first thing is refunds. Refunds are so important. These headsets are expensive. I paid $500 for the Quest 3. Like, it's not cheap. The Pimax Crystal Lite is also like, more expensive than that. Same with the original one. So refunds. This is what they said here. And this ties in with this Pimax Prime subscription financing plan. They said you pay the base price, which is $599 for the Lite, $999 for the Super. You receive the headset, and you decide whether to keep or return it. If you choose Prime, you can pay up front for a headset, and it will give you an extra discount. So basically, if you don't do the subscription, you just pay up front, you actually get a discount. And if you choose a subscription, you don't get the discount, which sounds a little bit like a financing plan. And they say it's 10% for the Lite or 12% Super. Now, where I'm trying to understand this is they have extended the return window from 10 to 14 days. Remember in the video I made previously, I said you can just try this, and after 10 days, if you don't like it, return it, which I think is really good, because for VR, you need to try it to know whether you're going to like it or not. A lot of people are going to try it and not like it. A lot of people are going to try it and really like it. But 10 days seemed a bit weird, and they've extended it to 14 days, which makes more sense. Now you've got 2 weeks. What I don't fully understand still is what happens after those 14 days. So I get that you buy the headset for, let's say, $599 for the Lite, and if you return it within 14 days, you'll get your $599 back. So what they've said here, the question is, does that mean Prime is not refundable? And they said Prime is refundable, but you're not required, so that's the previous question, but you're not required to pay for Prime within the trade-off window. If you bought Prime within the first 14 days and then want to return the headset, the refund also includes Prime. So I guess basically, if you pay for the headset and you pay up front for Prime, and then you return the headset in 14 days, you get it all back. I guess if you pay for the headset and you don't pay for Prime yet, you obviously get what you paid back, so you haven't paid for Prime. But after 14 days, I'm not sure what happened. So I guess if you return the headset after 14 days and it's a valid return, I guess you'd also get your money back. They also answered some question on Prime generally, which is kind of, what is it? Why is it being introduced? And it looks a lot like a subscription, and it looks kind of concerning that you have to pay for a subscription for the software to work. The way they've explained it is that it's kind of a flexible option, which does sound like financing. So instead of paying more upfront, you can spread it over the sort of like 2 years, I think it might be, and you pay a lower price upfront. I wish the wording was maybe a little bit clearer about that, because that to me does sound like financing. For example, I remember when the Xbox Series S came out, you could just buy that for like £25 a month, and at the end of 2 years it would work out more expensive than just buying on its own, but it means you pay less on the interim. So that's what it sounds like. What about selling the headset but you still owe monthly payments? You can pay off the remaining balance at any time, although discounts do not apply for payments. So I'm guessing that if you want to sell the headset, you need to pay off the rest of the payments, because it's kind of like a financing plan. I don't really do financing, so this is why I'm not really sure about these sort of things. I tend to just buy things up front. So if it was for me buying a Pimax Crystal Super, I would probably buy the $999, try it in 14 days. If I liked it, if I'm like, okay, I really like this headset and I've got the budget, then I would just pay for the rest up front. So it's interesting that for those people that are going to spread it over a subscription, it'd be interesting to know how many people, let me know in the comments if you would buy a VR headset on this kind of subscription or you pay for it up front. Now this is a big one. If you miss payments, the Pimax Play software will stop functioning until payments are completed. So basically the financing is tied to the payments, which again makes sense. It's like if you, let's say on the Xbox Series X, if you stop paying off the Xbox Series X, you'd be breaching your payment plan basically. And this is that world of financing. And what they've done here is to stop, basically I guess to stop people saying, oh, I'll pay it over a subscription and then I just won't pay the subscription. They said, okay, well your headset won't work. It won't work with the software. Which again, to me sounds fair enough, as long as you have the option to pay for it up front and actually you get a discount. Maybe the messaging wasn't clear on it. And I'm not sure they really use the word financing as well. They still use the word subscription. So maybe that's a language thing. Do you need to pay for Prime after it's paid off? They say no, once a Prime subscription is paid in full, the headset is yours, no further payments. If you buy it from a retailer, they say check with the retailer. Okay. There was a lot of questions about Crystal Super as well. So this is that 4K headset. I made a mistake, I think, because I didn't know it was coming out with an OLED version. So they actually have an OLED version as well. And I think this is how it's going to work, is a whole display. They call it like a display engine or something like that. Optical engine maybe. It's going to be swappable. So you're going to be able to slide out like everything and replace it, which is quite cool. And that's probably good for repairability as well. But it's interesting there is an OLED version coming. They confirmed that pre-orders are open. They also confirmed it will support 120 Hertz, but it's a challenge. So it's going to be in some kind of beta mode. And I think this also ties in with the DisplayPort. I saw comments, people saying, why is it not coming with DisplayPort 2.1? And Pimax said, there's no GPU that supports 2.1 at the moment. But it's not a problem, they say, because 1.4 is going to be enough. So you let me know what you think about that in the comments. Something else I didn't know is that the field of view is going to be different for different display optical engines. So they say it's 120 degrees horizontal for the 57 PPD QET and 135 for the 50 PPD QET. So it sounds like maybe, you know, slightly lower PPD versions have a wider field of view, so you can choose there. I think these are all ridiculously high PPD anyway, compared to like existing Pimax crystals. They talked about minimum PC. They said technically RTX 20 series is supported, although not recommended. Definitely, by the way, if you're thinking about buying a Crystal Super, you're going to need a beastly PC to run it. Like I wouldn't, you know, it's only going to make sense you've got a beastly PC. If you want to run something standalone, you can use this standalone. You can also connect the Quest to a PC. But you can use it standalone and you're not going to have the same graphics experience, but you're not going to have any wires. And that's what I've been doing recently. You can also run the Pimax Crystal standalone as well, but I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. So there's a lot of information there. And it seems like it centers around the subscription/financing and how that works and refunds. So I really want to hear from you. If you have any thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. Because I do use my Pimax Crystal a lot actually, and I really enjoy it in sim racing. And I love using VR. You can see that I've been using the Roto VR stuff with the Quest, and it's absolutely insane as well. So I want to be doing more VR videos for you guys, and I want to be trying to answer the questions you've got. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. And yeah, I will see you next time.